people around him were undesirables, if you will, because he just didn't push people away. He loved everybody, and he just couldn't say no. And I think that this contributed to this where we're at today.
Mr. Thompson, what are your thoughts? And tell us internally, now that it's official, the fact that it was his own godson that pulled the trigger, someone who was so close to him. We talked about this internally, I'm sure, with the family. Can you tell us what those discussions were like and what your thoughts are about that?
Well, it's definitely heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, because again, Jordan's grandmother and my aunt Connie were very, very close. Was very, very close. They lived right across the street from each other. As a matter of fact, as a child, I lived with them for a couple of years in Hollis, Queens, at that house. So, you know, I was in and out of the Jordan's house, you know, as a kid. So, again, it's definitely heartbreaking to know that someone's, you know, that close, you know, did it. You know, and I definitely, you know, feel for, you know, Jordan's, you know, family. But at the end of the day, you know, he murdered my cousin.
What do you think of their reaction in court?
I think just, you know, typical of people that's in denial and you know, want to blame everybody else and not take any responsibilities for you know, their own actions. And I mean, I definitely understand this is definitely a hard pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, you know, I thought that what's the name was the outburst was, you know, unprofessional, uncalled for, and you know, typical nonsense. C-A-R-L-I-S, Thompson, T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N.
You're a cousin of his.
Yes, we're first cousins. Yes, his mother and my mother was sisters. My mother was the baby girl, and his mother was the second girl. So it's actually my mother and my uncle, which is deceased, and then Jam Master Jay's mother, Connie Mizell, and then my aunt Helen. So my grandparents had 4 kids. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Jordan, who was responsible for his godfather's murder, in addition to Ronald Washington taking part in
Okay, the speakers are going to come. The speakers are going to come down now. I'll just go over one more time the order that they're going to speak in. It's going to be the Breon Peace, B-R-E-O-N, Peace, P-E-A-C-E, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, followed by Thomas Kalogiros, K-A-L-O-G-I-R-O-S, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, Jerry O'Sullivan, Assistant Chief, NYPD Detective Bureau. Okay?
We appreciate it.
Okay, so did you come up from Delaware?
Yes. Already been told that the U.S. has along with the Assistant Chief of NYPD and the Special Agent in charge of the Special Agent in charge for the ATF will be coming down to talk to us. We've been told that we were able to isolate a soundbite from Mr. Thompson and real name Jason Mizell just a few moments ago.
That's right.
Oh,
Doc, yeah, we're going
Question.
Question.
Oh, okay.
I think my colleague Ashley might be calling.
You're welcome.
Yes, yeah. Ryan.
Oh, well,
We call him Doc.
yeah, everybody call me.
You live in Delaware now.
No, he lived in he never lived in Hollywood. None of us never lived in Hollywood. We all born and raised in Brooklyn. And then what happened was my Connie got married, and they moved to Queens. Surprised at that. Oh, was that
Anything else about what this means to your family?
Oh, God.
Just moments later, their relatives started to get together and voicing their outrage over
brainstorming
one family member saying,
trying to read the tea leaves.
and then marshals came in to hold those
Listening to some information you guys might even get, and we just kind of put it together, what we know, and
grabbed by the marshal and got out of that workroom, and all of a sudden the family was surrounded by
I can breathe.
I can breathe now. Yes.
But out of the courthouse. Again, we're expecting to hear from the U.S. Attorney, member of the ATF, and NYPD Assistant Chief Jerry O'Sullivan.
Hey Tom, thanks a lot, buddies.
The top headline is guilty on all counts of and Ronald
We'll get one more interview. Everybody good? Nope. Do you mind just standing here? Same thing your brother did.
Oh,
Thank you.
First of all, and then
You were close. It makes me feel a certain way.
Yeah, we the only ones who work together.
Yeah.
Same age.
Do you mind? Well, have you come
Oh,
over?
I'm sorry.
It's another family member.
How you doing, sir?
Do you mind giving us the correct spelling of your first name?
First name is Ryan, R-Y-N. Last name is Thompson, T-H-O-M-P-S-O-N.
R-Y-A-N?
Yes, sir.
So Ryan, I told you, I think of that the smile he had.
Yeah.
You're in the photo. Is that what you think of too?
Yeah, he had a brilliant smile. Very creative person, very giving person, and he's going to be well missed.
You two were really close.
Yeah, yes,
right?
yes, we grew up together. Same age. He's just older than me by a few months. He was born in January, 65, I'm born in June.
What does today mean for you after 22 years with us?
A victory for him, my aunt, and his brother and sister. So let's start with that one.
Mr. Thompson, I'm guessing some people are going to be watching this. They're going to see, they may not be familiar with the details, and they're going to say, well, why did it take so long? 2002. Why don't you tell us in your own words why you think this took so long?
So that's because people, a lot of lies, a lot of cover-ups, especially the people that's close to him, like Randy Allen. You start there, and that's the real reason why it took this long.
Ryan, I have what could be a tough question, but in this case, a lot has come out about the fact that Jason was into drugs a little bit, right? He was such an icon for so many people. Don't do drugs, don't do drugs. So does this justice come at a price?
Well, yes. The answer, yes, because I didn't know, just like the rest of y'all didn't know, until I was told. You know what I mean? On that part, because I work for a lot of security agencies, so I'm not around as much like I used to be. You know what I mean? But when I put things together and I started hearing people, it is what it is. But I wish it would have been different. You know what I mean? But we'll take it for what it is.
Do you mind telling me your thoughts today when you heard the jury's verdict?
It was a great feeling because we have somebody, right? We have a good conviction. So I was very happy to hear that. Very happy.
You think it's the right people?
Yes. And it extends further than just them two, to be honest. So, let's not just look at them two. It extends even further.
At one point during this trial, you weren't so sure you were going to get a conviction. Were you?
Yeah, because of the drug thing. That's the reason. Other than the drug charges, because we wasn't grew up like that. That's not where we was raised. But for him, to be involved in something like that, it was shocking. So.
Is there anything else, Ryan, you could tell us?
Well, I just wish things would have been different though, and we communicated more, because I was, working out in other companies, and he was over there. But we communicated, I think it would have been more different. That's what I wish.
I wish you guys
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much, Ryan.
Thank you, everybody here.
very much.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Soon. All right, you ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll be, again, the U.S. Attorney first, ATF, and then NYPD. Okay, they're not going to take any questions because anybody in the courtroom today, you heard that they're going to be appealing their convictions. So they won't take it, the speakers won't take any questions, all right? All right, thanks, everybody. Is that good?
Are you going to take this down?
Does it work like that?
I think we prefer this.
People are so far away from the mic.
Yeah, we all had the mic.
You also push this a little closer.
This can go up front.
Really showing
Yeah, put it in front.
Is there any way we can raise this a little bit so it's
over the edge?
They have some papers. Can you raise that a little bit and put it over the edge? Because they have some papers they want to put down. Just raise it and tip it over.
Spin. I gotta spin. Somebody's got like trying to spin it.
Henry, all good? Henry, all good? Okay.
Good.
We're good? No issues?
Good afternoon. I'm Breon Peace, United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York. I'm joined here today by Assistant Special Agent in Charge Thomas Kalagiros of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and Assistant Chief Jerry O'Sullivan from the New York City Police Department. On October 30th, 2002, Jason Mizell, also known as Jam Master Jay of the legendary hip-hop group Run-DMC, was murdered in cold blood in his recording studio in Queens, New York. The violent loss of Mr. Mizell traumatized his family and devastated legions of Run-DMC fans around the world. Although it appeared that the case had gone cold and would not be solved, law enforcement never wavered in its determination to bring Mr. Mizell's killers to justice. Now, it's taken more than 20 years, but today, a jury in this courthouse found Carl Jordan Jr. and Ronald Washington guilty of murder while engaged in a drug trafficking conspiracy and firearm-related murder. They will be justly punished. Now, there is a message to be heard loud and clear from this verdict. No matter the passage of time, be it a day, be it a week, a month, a year, or even 2 decades, as it was in this case, justice will be served. And the harm caused by those who intentionally and senselessly end human life will be redressed. Now, I know today's verdict cannot bring Mr. Mizell back, but my sincere hope is that it brings some closure and solace to his family, his friends, his fans, and all those who loved and appreciated him. Now, I want to express my gratitude to members of my office, the NYPD, the ATF, for their relentless efforts to solve this crime and to hold Mr. Mizell's killers accountable. I want to thank my team of AUSAs, Assistant United States Attorneys, Artie McConnell, Mark Masurik, and Miranda Gonzalez, my office's special agents and investigators, including Michael Cassidy, Michael Zeller, and Joseph Saccone, ATF special agents Christy Dorner and Andrew Tamino, task force officers Gary Haber and John Roberts, and paralegal specialists Anna November and Samantha Schroeder for their outstanding work on this very challenging case. Now, I want to say a few words about the witnesses to Mr. Mizell's murder who bravely and truthfully testified at this trial. It's no mystery why it took years to indict and arrest the defendants. The witnesses in the recording studio knew the killers, and they were terrified that they would be retaliated against if they cooperated with law enforcement and identified the ruthless executioners of Mr. Mizell. But their strength and resolve in testifying at this trial were a triumph of right over wrong and courage over fear. We cannot and should not accept the victimization and killing of members of our communities. And with the trust between law enforcement and the community that we're always working hard to build, we can solve more cases like this, and we can make our communities safer. and a message to those who commit murder and engage in gun violence in our communities: understand that we don't rest until you are brought to justice. Finally, I want to note that next month will be the 40th anniversary of Run-DMC releasing a song about Mr. Mizell entitled Jam Master Jay. Since that song was released, Mr. Mizell reached the highest heights of fame through trailblazing music and trend-setting style. Tragically, his life was cut short as a result of greed and revenge. But today is justice for Mr. Mizell and his family. Now we'll turn over the podium to Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Caligiros from the ATF.
Thank you, Breon. Good afternoon. I'm Tom Caligiros, and I'm the Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the ATF New York Field Division. Having been in federal law enforcement for 17 years, I could say that we have no better partners than those represented here today. The investigative efforts in this case have been extensive through many years and multiple jurisdictions. Today's verdict demonstrates the relentless pursuit of justice by federal prosecutors, NYPD detectives, and ATF special agents. ATF will never allow violent crime to become the norm in our communities. We hope this verdict brings some closure to the family, friends, and worldwide fans of Jason Mizell, Jam Master Jay. Thank you. Chief Jerry O'Sullivan.
Good afternoon. Again, my name is Assistant Jerry O'Sullivan, Commanding Officer of Citywide Investigations of the NYPD Detective Bureau. On October 30th, 2002, the 103 Precinct responded to a homicide that occurred at this location, and an extensive investigation began with the detectives from the 103 Detective Squad. It continued with Queens Homicide, and then it continued after that with our investigators at the Cold Case Unit. I want to thank our, in particular, our cold case detectives who have since retired, Detective Gary Haber and John Roberts, for their dedication and their persistence in pursuing this case and seeking justice for Mr. Mizell and his family. I also want to thank our law enforcement partners, our federal partners and prosecutors who worked on this case and with their diligence. And with that said, I want to thank everybody behind me for ensuring that justice was served today to bring the killers to justice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, everybody. If you have any questions, just send them to me or Danielle. But the press release has gone out already. So if you need anything, just email us.
Do you know when the next trial is? We've had the
I'll ask them to put it in the box.
next trial? For both of them, right?
The next trial is scheduled for December 2026. And
For Brian?
yeah,
December 2026.
yeah. I'm sorry, January 2026.
January.
January 2026 for Bryant, who's charged with the murder also.
Okay.
And there's going to be another trial for Carl Jordan on drug charges, but there's no date set for that yet.
What about appeal? Like, any idea?
I think the attorneys in the courtroom said that they were going to file an appeal.
Any idea?
Yep. $20 to life.
20 to life. Did she say we ran out?
I don't believe she said a sentence. She did not.
No.
No.
John, just random thing. Why wasn't Jay?
Don't quote me. Don't quote us. You heard the defense.
It was back.
Her trial count is full. Distribution of cocaine distribution. Washington was in charge of the drug charges. Which is